go get them again.
Welcome back to the Robes Away channel. I'm your host Mark, and on the docket today we have an unboxing first impression video on the brand of Nishane, and this is of course not an unboxing. As you can see here, it's already unboxed. It was a tester which was sent to me by fragflex.com to, of course, decant. So it is the returned product, mega haul. I don't see much of a dent in this one, and this one's called Ambra Calabria, which is a darling within our fragrance community. This is a brand, Nishane, that is hit or miss with me. There is some ones that I really like. Usually the more popular ones from this brand, the ones that got the free bottle brigade, the ones that people were hyping, weren't really my speed, honestly. I actually love the underground Nishanes, actually the ones that early on in their journey, some of them got discontinued, and less about the hype beast, but more about the ones that were more underground, more interesting. Now, this one obviously got press, but I feel like the ones that didn't get press are the ones that were the best. So now, before we get into anything, please, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, much appreciated. And to my returnees, merci beaucoup, welcome back to the channel. Let's get into the note breakdown of this one, and let's see what Ambra Calabria will give me. So now, obviously with the name, I'm assuming I'm going to get an amber-based fragrance. That's my assumption. And Calabria, I see some citruses. Calabria, of course, known for bergamot, which is right there in the top note. So are we going to get a citrusy amber? Pretty simple, straightforward. I think Annie did a little bit of that, so we'll see. Which wasn't really my favorite vanilla. It was very standard vanilla, but there is a lot of green in the opening. Green leaves, galbanum. There's coriander, jasmine, amber, vanilla, and musk. This was released back in 2013, so it has 10 plus years on the market. Jorge Lee is the nose behind this. Let's delve into it. We're going to put it on strip first, and then we will put it on skin. Atomizer, not so bad. So let's get into Ambra Calabria from the brand of Nishane. Ooh, Calabria in the name, boom, straightforward. Let's pop up that bergamot. It is a primary up top. She is very light. I didn't really know what I was going to expect. I was thinking maybe the amber was going to be more primary, but that bergamot is sparkling. It is absolutely beautiful. Very light as a scent profile, like almost like summer spring. Huge on that bergamot, and some green nuances. So kind of reminds me a little bit of Xerjoff fragrances where they utilize citruses and greens together. That's where this is kind of taking me a little bit. Oh, I do get a little bit of that coriander as well. Okay, so that's coriander plays well in the sandbox with citruses. I actually really like that note. Yeah, that bergamot is outstanding. You can't ask more from that note. Very good. Obviously, bergamots usually burn off quite quickly on scent, so we'll see how it transforms. Hopefully it does on camera here for you, so I can give you a little more depth in regards to the video. But right now, bergamot is front and central with some green nuances. So that green leaves accord, yeah, it kind of smells like... Well, it's not Kobe, Neo from Xerjoff. It has that green yellow aspect. Man, it is getting really green on my skin. So it's giving me some depth a bit here. Probably from the galbanum. Galbanum can give out resinous qualities, green qualities as well. So the galbanum green tendencies are coming out more than anything. It's definitely getting greener as the citruses are burning off. It's getting less bright, more green. Coriander is doing its thing. I feel like the coriander and the galbanum are going to be the X factors in this fragrance. Yeah, the name's all about bergamot and amber, but I feel like coriander is excellent in here. And the galbanum, even though not dense or thick, it is playing a very big portion of Ambra Calabria here. Okay, so the vanillic tones are coming through, but they're very thinned out. So you're looking at amber, vanilla as your major player in the Ambra portion of this fragrance. And the vanillic tones are a little powdery, and they're getting a little more into a white floral jasmine that's pairing well with the vanilla. They always play well in the sandbox. They mesh well together in fragrances, and it's transforming a little bit step by step. It went from yellow green to losing the yellow. Now it's more green, brownish hue, like almost light brown, to getting a little bit of white aspects of the vanilla. Yeah. And a little bit of jasmine here to kind of make it more, a little bit of sweetness, of course, but the floral really does help the smoothness of this fragrance with the vanillic aspect. So the amber portion, not, you know, big, bold, syrupy thing, at least not in this introduction. It could change, obviously, in the back end. They did the name justice, yes. More Calabria than Ambra at the moment. I'm assuming, of course, that Ambra portion is going to be more focused in the back end of this release. I don't know if it was not what I expected. I kind of expected a bright amber-based fragrance, and I'm kind of more, it's more of a, it is bright, but more green fragrance than anything. So you do get the Bergamot from Calabria, the Ambra as well, but I think the X Factor notes really stole the show for this introduction for me, which are the ones that are probably forgotten in fragrance reviews, is the coriander and the galbanum. Yeah, not a bad scent. Smooth, good transitions, some depth to it, even though it's a fairly thin fragrance. I think the vanilla reminds me of Annie a bit. I got to go revisit my bottle of it. I wasn't really a big fan. Like, I'm not gushing over it like YouTubers do. I think it's an excellent release for the brand, but not the all-star or the star that people put upon it. It's a very solid release, but I think the vanilla does remind me a little bit of that one, with the volume, of course, turned down. Worth a sniff at discounters, but this one, I don't know, it's missing that wow factor that I would purchase it for retail, personally. You know, it's almost like I referenced Neo from Xerjoff, and that was like, again, a Xerjoff that is well done, and it did get a lot of press on YouTube, Neo did, but at the end of the day, like, it's never made one of my top 20 fragrances of summer or spring or something like that. I mean, if it did, and again, my memory, I'm starting to lose it a little bit in my early 40s, but Neo was a good release, but not a excellent standout release from the brand. And this is kind of where Ambra Calabria kind of fits in, is that the blend's good, executed well, but it's lacking that wow factor for me. Like, once you smelt a lot of niche fragrances, this isn't wow. But if you haven't smelt much in the realm of niche fragrances, this could wow you, because of the quality of it is a step way above a designer fragrance. And this is where I go, like, people, you know, come after me because of my Parfum de Marly hate, but this is one of those brands that goes against Parfum de Marly. You know, different lane as far as scent profiles go, but it kind of just shows you that this is quality versus the PDMs that are not, for the price point. So again, my thought process is this smells like a Xerjoff release. Honestly, that would be my first guess. If you blindfolded me and said, what is this? I probably would have guessed Xerjoff, not Nishane. And I would have been dead wrong, but not really, kind of close, honestly. But it's missing that wow factor for me personally. Simple, well made, but kind of forgettable. Yeah, and that's a lot of these Nishanes that are top sellers that people do like. I understand they're mass appealing, quote unquote. I hate using that word. But, you know, there's nothing here that you'll hate. But for me personally, there's no revisiting factor to it. And I only have so many sprays with this collection, is that something like this will collect dust for quite a while. Not in the rotation, not rotation good enough for rotational purposes, but you'll revisit it and you'll be like, oh, this is actually really decent. That's the kind of thought process of this one. Like as far as an early score out of 10, like a high 7. So it's a good release, but not a great one. So Nishane, another one that the brand is, I'm kind of lukewarm on the brand. Like there's some hits and there's some, okay, like there hasn't been, I don't think there's one fragrance that I've smelt from them and I'm like, yeah, garbage, like absolute, like no. Even the Annies of the world, I feel like they serve a purpose, maybe not worth retail, but depending on the person. And this is where this one fits in, is that it's missing that wow factor, but it's quite decent. So I got this, of course, fragflex.com. I'm going to be decanting for them. You can get at Fragflex as well. You can use my code TFG10. You get 10% off site-wide from the brand. Now that you heard my take, I'd love to see yours in the comments below. Let us know what you think about Ambra Calabria. Very much more Calabria based than Ambra for me. I don't know. It's getting powdery, actually. I don't know if I mentioned that. That Amber is getting a little bit of that powdery, vanillic, creamy kind of aspect. Yeah. So I'd love to see your comments below. Good, bad, and the ugly. If it's a standout for you, awesome. I can see the reason why it would be for certain people. But I feel like for other people, it'd be almost, when you get a collection like mine, it's almost kind of lost in translation a little bit. So as always, a greater pour fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your amber citrus fragrance wisely. Have a good one, YouTube. See you on the next.